Hello, and today we'll be playing the newest update of Gnoll Way Home. This came out yesterday on the 1st, so this will cover Chapter 2. Downhill closer, I start to hear the sounds of the village. The scents along this trail become more tangible too. Other gnolls, lots of them. They're going to hate me, and every bit of that will be justified. I can't take back what I've done. Sticky's ears perk from a deep sigh I failed to mask. Hey, things are gonna turn out fine. All I can offer in thanks for his reassurance is a muted grunt. And if anyone tries to pick a fight with you, they'll have to go through me. Oh, come on. Serious. No, you don't need to protect me. Well, I don't see your dead weight technique winning any fights. I rebuke him with a glower, but it just makes him grin even wider. Fine, I'll be counting on you if there's trouble. Attaboy. There's probable tension in the air when we set foot in the village. While the others are torn away by various greetings and embraces, I'm left adrift in a sea of narrow eyes and a wave of whispers. All that scrutiny, all the mistrust, is writ plain as day on their faces, and it twists the knife of trepidation that's been stuck in my side this entire journey. They already know who I am. They know what I am. They keep their distance at first, watching, waiting. Then a shrill battle cry sounds out, and the children arrive. Not the children. There has to be a dozen of them, no 100. There's a more respectable number to get beaten up by. The first introduces himself to me with a running kick to the dick. I crumple instantly, which the others take as a sign of encouragement. In seconds they're upon me, every inch of my body kicked, slapped, and spat upon. They strip the flesh from my bones, they scrape my remains, and call me expletives most unmerciful until nothing is left. In 50 in, I will not be missed. Then one of them chomps down hard on my tail, reminding me that this massive body of mine does in fact still exist, mostly unscathed. But the slings and barbs still hurt on the inside. Hey, brats. The beating ceases, morale improves. This here's my million. I defeated him first, laid him low in a single blow. Technically correct. An impressed collective of murmurs rise from my pint-sized assailants. Go ahead, Million. Show them who you belong to. Bark like a dog. What? The armistice wavers. The children look to me expectantly. He's really going to make me do this. Bark. Gotta need more than that, Million. I take a deep breath. There's no salvaging this. I raise my hands and mock of a dog's floppy ears. Woof, woof, bark, bark. Woof, 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 bark, bark. Woof, 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 bark, bark, bark. The children are smitten, cackling and howling in delight at the funny clown man that bakes himself for their amusement. I can't believe I got you to do that in front of so many people. I'm dying. I'm dead. Sunflowers. Sticky's own collapse makes him the new target for the miniature miscreants to climb and gnaw at. But at least he's able to return fire and roughhouse them right back. Humiliating as it was, that tactic seemed to have worked. Many of the children have begun to disperse, some of them teasing one another with mock impressions of my bombastic assfoolery. Even the adults in the area seem to have dismissed any notions that I might be a threat, their expressions looking more relieved after that idiotic indulgence. Glancing around, I noticed many of them had sworn to tithe for months as their children did me. But instead of beating the dignity from them, they are clamoring for the letters he carries. He looks overwhelmed, but fights through it, managing to raise his voice above the din of the crowd to call out for the proper recipients. Soon he's relieved from duty by another Gnoll that claims to be a speaker, ducking through the crowd to catch back up with me. Speaker. The Saddletusk term for those capable of reading the Imperial script. There's only a handful capable of this throughout the entire village. Supposedly there are many other scripts. There are many other scripts in the Imperial archives, but theirs are the only ones that's taught openly. This little man could fit so many letters in him. Don't forget, you're the one who taught me. Sticky finds somewhere comfy for Oprah to rest and waits for us to continue on without him while he distracts the remaining kids with a game of Snapdragon. And I'm not gonna read all that. And y'all can pause the video and read it. It mostly seems to involve moving his arm around like a snake and stamping his hand out to tickle the little buggers, but I guess they've made some sort of game out of it. Come on, before it gets dark. Moving through the town, I'm surprised at just how many shapes and sizes of Gnolls there are. Tall, skinny, short, bulky, and everything between. Though it seems like Tav and I are about the far ends of the adult height range. Every now and then, I even spot one or two with rather strange, unsettling physical characteristics. Wormwood refugees, don't gawk. But I thought the wormwood didn't affect Gnolls. Anything or anyone that's born there comes out different, even Gnolls. We're just the only ones that can safely traverse it. Other people end up, well, they usually don't stay people for long. Glad I never had to go back there. As we continued our trek, I noticed a wide variety of dress or display as well, and a plethora of different styles, as well as more casual nudity than Tav seems comfortable with. He hurriedly takes me by the paw as we navigate through the crowded village streets. Even though there's only a few dozen buildings total, it seems like there's considerably more Gnolls that live in here. The overall atmosphere seems lively, with plenty of open chatter throughout these streets. From what little I managed to pick up as we passed through, it seems a lot of it is about me. My ears swivel a few times as I hear people mention that I could use some soup. This soup does sound really good right now. I ran out of bonus fruits hours ago. What sounds pretty good too. It's been a long travel day. And Tav made that journey twice today. He pauses as we reach one of the larger buildings at the far end of town, scrutinizing the drape drawn over its entrance before relinquishing a south side. Matron's busy. We're half the way. He leans back against the side of the hut and slides down it, exhaling a deep sigh as he finally lets himself rest for the first time today. I'm going to sit alongside him, but have to pause first to sit down those wicker baskets he'd laden with me. I've forgotten all about them. So, the matron, guess he's the one in charge around here? Sort of. We don't have a traditional matron like the old tribes. So that's a normal thing for tribes to have a matron in charge. Some of them, most of the ones in and around the womb would. The others were led by warlords instead, but I don't think there's any of them left anymore. The Empire started that. I quickly tried to push the conversation forward, stumbling a bit. So what makes this matron so special? In the awkward silence that follows, I realize that probably sounds a little more cynical than I intended. I mean, not to say she isn't. He helps a beleaguered sigh. I'm just making things worse again, aren't I? I know it must be irritating to have to field so many basic questions, but I'm pretty much adrift here. It's a long story. I gestured to the occupied building. I think we got time. He glowers, but soon leans his head back in defeat, acquiescing. The Imperials wiped out most of the tribes during the Grand Crusade. Not just the Gnolls, pretty much everyone that wouldn't bend the knee to them. Sounds pretty typical for an empire. I guess they want everyone to be good little workers, loyal Imperial dogs, and whoever they can't convert, they kill. Brutal. And yet that's what they call us. Look around, thinking back to all the Gnolls I met so far, and calling them brutal is a bit far-stretched. Kind old Opa. Energetic but well-meaning stinky. Okay, maybe the kids earned that descriptor. Even with everything Tyler's going through, brutal might be the last word I use to describe him. So they either tame the savages or break them? According to them, yeah. But even when you break a tribe, there's still pieces left over. He scans his head around, observing the village as it stands now, so full of life. And this is where they end up, Gnolls with no tribe left. Huh? Well, they seem to be doing alright now. Tyler shrugs. They deserve better than this. Back in the Empire, there was just so much. Everything. Everything? Food, books, homes, everything. But not for everyone. If the Emperor favored you, you'd live in the lap of luxury. And if he scorned you, you slept in the gutters. The part we grew up in was the worst of the worst. Trash in the streets, tar in the water, smog in the air, plagues in the people. Even the houses got sick. They said it was right where us Gnolls belonged. He pauses, surveying again and sighing. This is better than that, at least, but the spoils that the Emperor's favored enjoy. It's wasted on them. I'm starting to get a pretty good idea of what Taff and Gas left, of why Taff and Gas left the city. But it doesn't seem like that life outside. But it doesn't seem that life outside it is everything he wanted it to be. And the Empire is probably not likely to change, is it? No, they're pretty good at stamping out dissidents, or turning them against one another. It's easy to get folks to agree on what's wrong, way harder to get them to agree on what's right. That's what Rath used to say. He's the only one that made any progress. Who's that? The big damn hero that stood up to the Empire, until he gave up. He led a rebellion, several actually, I think. They freed a bunch of indentured servants. The Empire doesn't like it when you call them slaves. But it didn't amount to much in the end. No matter how hard they fought, the Empire is just too big. Anywhere they liberated just ended up with a target on its back. At some point, the people didn't even want to be saved anymore. So what happened? Why he give up? He got old and sad, decided he was done fighting, helped found the village here. Brought together all the broken pieces that were left over. Oh, I guess that's why It's called set of tusks. Yeah, the old warlords took pride in their tusks. The bigger the better. Saddles made them good leaders, strong and virile. The smaller Gnoll pods had one of his own rather scrawny endowments. Didn't do them much good when the crusade swept through. Grand Crusade, the Empire's term for their quest to forcibly bring all at her to bring all other cultures they encounter under their rule. After their conquest of nearly all nearby tribes over the past few generations, they now turn their gaze seaward to see if they can expand beyond their continents. Those were bold. And that's definitely an empire. Just like cancer, it spreads until it can't spread anymore. I reached out to feel over one of the oversized tusks jutting from my own muzzle. Virile, huh? They're superstition. They don't really mean anything. A stifle cackle as a pair of satisfied-looking gnolls emerge from the hut. My nose immediately picks up quite a bit of sweat and musk radiating from them. As the two depart, playfully chattering under their breath and nudging at one another, I notice Taff rise and head in. I follow quickly behind after. I gather up the baskets, already getting used to staying within the lease's domain. The interior of the matron's hut is more spacious than I expected. The first thing that catches my eye is a truly massive second meat that lies upon a low table near the doorway. Behind it, I'm surprised to see a roaring fire lighting a stone hearth with a bubbling cauldron upon it. Is it finally time for soup? An old woman, tall and gangly, hums softly to herself as she slices through the massive hunk of meat with effortless grace. The bone-carved knife in her paw splits the flesh with unnatural ease. I look at Taff to try and gauge etiquette here, but his ears perk as a curtain is drawn open on the other side of the abode. A gruff voice from behind it beckons to him. Taff motions for me to stay here, heading behind the curtain and leaving me alone with who I can only assume is the matron. I linger awkwardly, trying to peek behind the partition before she chuckles dryly. Her voice has a hoarse quality to it, thickly accented in a melodic way I've only heard a few times around town so far. This ain't the place for stupid around. Get your prying ears away, boy. I flinched, wheeling around to meet her gaze with paws instinctively raising to plead innocence. Her chuckling rises into a distinct, sharp cackle that sends a twinge to tear up my spine. Come here, demon boy. Let Nika take a look at this one. Nika is the advocate of the Saurtusk tribe. She uses her familiarity with different religions to mediate between the disparate beliefs and cultural practices of the different tribes that have coalesced here. She also a skilled voker favored by Broodmother is essentially knowledgeable about medicinal poultices. Don't ever ask her about the funny critter in her necklace. It ain't a sensitive topic, but she'll take it out and torment you with it as it's super creepy. She keeps it as a reminder of why she was exiled from the brood witches. She says it helps her focus and makes her a better voker. It's gross. I feel my nose pierced back. I feel my ears pinned back at her command, submitting and moving closer despite my nerves. Even though I'm bigger than her, there's something about her voice and presence that commands respect. Before I even realize she's close enough to do so, she's got a paw grasping my chin, roughly thrusting it upwards to examine me. I freeze in place, terrified of that intense look in her eye and the sadistic smirk that stretches across her muzzle. Seems to be working. It takes me a moment to realize she's talking about the collar. Is he the one that made it? She lets my head drop back down and I struggle to stand before her without quaking. Just remember, you take this off, your head go boom. I can't tell if that's her idea of a joke or not, but she sure does seem to be feasting on my fear at the prospect of sudden head explosion. Never seen a demon shake like that before. You piss to the floor. You're the one cleaning up. She punctuates that threat with a chiding wave of her index finger and a few accompanying clicks of her tongue. Calm yourself, boy. Nigga ain't gonna hurt you unless you give me a reason to. I go, trying to steal my resolve. This one guy named? Plover. She makes a tour around me, examining and prodding at my body in a way that only makes me more tense. It's about the same, this one. Smells the same too. At this distance, I can parse her smell as well, without even needing to close my eyes. Her smell brings to mind poisonous plants, while in doubt there's a commanding malice to her scent that makes me quiver. It somehow reminds me of that place. Quit your sniffing around, boy. I'll put that nose of yours in my cauldron. She brandishes that wicked-looking knife with a terrifying grin. Sorry, I didn't mean to, what are you making in there anyway, soup? You really do know nothing, eh? Brewing poultices. But keep your gritty paws away from there. That'd be a special brew, Matron's only. She sees that knife and pushes a bowl full of hairy roots toward me. Now, make yourself useful and help nigga peel this here death root while you're away. Gotta get through another batch of these before sundown. Somebody's gotta keep these people from falling apart. I hesitate before slowly navigating around the weird tubers and trying to figure out how to peel them with just my claws. I'm certainly not gonna ask for a knife. Once my mind wanders to consider what she said, my claws start to move with more effortless motions. Wait, but I thought Knolls didn't get sick. Not like other folks, we don't. No food sick, no plagues or poison, but there's still other elements to deal with. Like what, ghosts in your blood? A silver pain alights through my forehead as he flicks it with a sharpened claw. Like demons in your noggin, you daft hellspawn. Oh, sorry. Broken bones and old age are happy to visit us too. Don't you know? Maybe Nick could break some of yours to get you familiar. That's not necessary. I'll be good. You better. You walk away his edge, demon boys. You just better hope those two take mercy on you. As he points to the curtain on the other side of the room, I realize I haven't heard a peep since Tav went back there. Who's that back there with Tav? Oh, just my husband. They're probably deciding your fate back there as we speak. Oh, well, how do you think that's gonna go? I trust my husband's judgment on that. He's the only man in this world to earn me respect. And you know why that is? Yes. Because he knows that he knows nothing. Who of a man in this world think they know everything under the sun? But he questions everything, even his own self. The old tribes will see that as weakness, a death knell for their leader. But I think otherwise. He's open to new ideas, to reconsidering who he is as a person, who we are as a people. This is not weakness. It is flexibility, adaptability, hell, maybe even wisdom. Speaking of devil or demon, the curtain is pulled back and I hear Tav calling from the other side. Fine, take a look at him yourself. After a brief pause, I realize I'm being summoned. No, do not make me say it twice, boy. I hurry over, relieved to escape Nika's overwhelming presence. Beyond the curtain, I see the source of that gruff voice, back turned to me, polishing a healthy firearm with a wicked-looking blade mounted beneath its barrel. The old Gnoll turns, surprising me with a stark dichotomy of appearance. Tom motions towards me without gesticulation as I arrive. Listen to me, Rath. He's a demon. You're really just going to let him run free around the village? That gruff voice returns, tinged with a rustic drawl as the old Gnoll responds. Yep. If he ain't a danger to nobody, he's gonna put in his fair share of work around here. That is, you're... Yeah. The tiny Gnoll makes a sort of unraveling the least from his wrist as far as it will go. It marches outside with a pronounced surge of frustration. I'm getting soup. After he does his best to dramatically close the curtain behind him on his way out, I realize that the drape seems to immediately set out outside beyond it. A deep sigh from the Gnoll he was arguing with reminds me that I'm left once more awkwardly sifting through the fallout of yet another tough outburst. Boy's got a strong sense of justice. Reminds me of myself when I was younger. It's a darn tough thing to grow out of. So you're Rath, Matron of the Satyr-Tusk tribe. I'm not gonna read all of it, but Rath is the founding and current matron of the Satyr-Tusk tribe. He and his would-be revolutionaries have put aside their swords for plowshares. His good boys still get their share of plowing. Crude but sort of true, he was known for maintaining high troop morale through individual counseling and rewards. For his followers, imperial propaganda always pointed him as a deviant for that. Nika says Rath uses a sacred herb from the wormwood to make himself more matronly. Never see him smoke that wormwood, though. It's called darfeno. And it's hard to get because it only grows in the wormwood. That's why he always asks if we found any when we travel through there. I must stick to Frederleaf. The font's kind of though confusing. Anyway. My eyes go wide at the realization, and I quickly bow my head in what I hope is a fairly universal display of reverence. So I didn't realize, sir, ma'am. Oh, that's fine, kid. Ain't too picky these days. And I suppose I ain't exactly your typical matron, anyhow. But we make do here. I put at ease a bit by how effortlessly he diffuses the tension in the air. I just assumed Nika was in charge. Yeah, that's what I suggested too, originally. She's had her fill of leadership already, though. Weren't no talking her into. But she's a shrewd one. I already had a bargain in mind when she turned me down, offered her aid as an advisor of sorts. And in return, my hand. And merits, as it turns out. I figured it was 50-50 odds she swiped that flash carver of hers through my wrist and keep my suited hand as a trophy, truth be told. a sacred ceremonial dagger used by the broad witches of the Wormwood for all sorts of gruesome rituals. I can pause the video if it wants. I can pause the video and look at the rest of it. But either price is more than fair for what she brings to the table. Oh, I didn't realize gnolls did mirrors. We don't, usually. The warlords used to keep harem, sure, but most gnolls just take mates as they come. Sounds lonely. Never felt that way to me. Keep your mate locked away like property. Now that's lonely. So you're having second thoughts about it? No, it's a trivial sacrifice for the sake of the tribe. Besides, she may be a bit possessive, but she still lets me tend to my duties. Duties? Managing morale. Whether it's soldiers or civilians, I've always felt a calling to keep spirits up. So that's the matron's role here? Well, it's the way I've been doing things since way back when. But I've been learning new ways to soothe the spirit these days. With magic, with words sometimes, touch just ain't enough. Wait, what? A bit of fraternization was enough to keep my good boys in line back in the day, but we face different problems nowadays, different sorts of anxieties that need taken care of. So I listen, I hear their worries, I give them what comfort I can, offer advice if they want it, or just an ear to vent to. I guess when you've managed not to die, as long as I have, you can't help but pick up some kind of wisdom. If they need to blow off some steam, too, well, if needs must. Oh, but we ain't here to talk about me. We need to talk about you, kid. And turns out, remembering once more that my life is on the line here. Well, saying the way things played out, gas was one of our only lifelines to the outside world, you know. That wasn't I didn't mean for any of this to happen. Well, what was it you intended, if you don't mind me asking? I don't know. I didn't think things would turn out this way. You didn't think about the guy whose body you were jacking? I didn't even know that's what was happening. I just heard a voice calling to me. He pulled me here. The void call. What? That's how the stories usually go. The victim's anguish calls out to the void, then the demons come answering. They use that moment of desperation to infiltrate the body and seize control. He takes a long, deep look into my eyes, studying my obvious lack of apprehension. But could be that you're just like rainwater filling a ditch. My gaze drifts downward. Maybe if I had resisted the call, gas would still be here. He growls softly to himself and scratches at his mutton chops. You know, you could have made this a lot easier on me by just being a monster. He taps his gun to indicate what he does to monsters. But I'm not. Yeah, I don't see a monster here. I see a scared pup caught up in a mess beyond his reckoning. He moves the hoist of that rifle onto his back. But it's still my fault, isn't it? Hard to say, but from what Taos told me, you've been real cooperative ever since you got here. I mean, yeah, if I caused this, then it's my responsibility to fix it. If it comes down to it, is that a higher priority than saving your own hide? I want to get gas back, but I don't want to go back either. I want both. Both, huh? Now you're standing greedy like a demon. Well, what's wrong with that? Honestly, that sounds more reasonable to me than the piteous mortar Aunt Taos was accusing you of. Hey, what? He's hurting something fierce. Ain't seen straight. I'm willing to give you a shot. Really? Well, what does that entail? We'll call it a probationary period. You stay here with us until we can figure out how to fix this mess. You mean it? Really? I can stay? Quit that tail wagging pup. You look like an imperial dog. Stop it, tail. Now, I ain't offer you a free ride. You gotta work while you're here. Of course, I'll do everything I can to bring gas back. Well, for the time being, we ain't got no leads on that. But what we do have are houses that need building, fields that need tilling. He motions to the bastards I once again forgot I've been hauling all day. Mail that needs delivering. But I've been watching you. We're all well. You gotta be one of us. You need to be on your best damn behavior. We'll make a good boy out of you soon. But I'll be watching you. We're all well. If you're gonna be one of us, you need to be on your best damn behavior. We'll make a good boy out of you yet. My tail versions are whiplash. Now, let's get that damn collar off you. He looks to the partition and heads over to tug it open. She didn't hear all that, did she? Yeah, nah. The shroud here makes it the perfect place to talk things out in confidence. Shroud silence. A privacy curtain the matron uses to guarantee confidentiality during personal counseling. It's been stitched together from the remnants of several enchanted cloaks Rath used for scouting and reconnaissance during the revolts. In the matron's room, nobody could hear you complete. Oh, thank whatever gods they have here. Wife, get in here. Shit, let's just be proper. Please. Love it when a man begs. Will you just get this damn thing off of her? You want it removed? Without killing him, yes. This was not in the specifications. What? You gotta be kidding. Brute with restraints ain't normally concerned with you being alive when they done with you. Nigga. I mean, if you want the collar back intact, I could take the head off with me flesh cover. Nigga. Oh, here comes the existential dread again. I take some me time to sit down. I take some me time to sit down, cradle my knees as they hash things out. After being dismissed from the matron's hut, collar intact, I find my growing appetite managing to steal focus from the pall of despair that hangs above me. A few passing notes inquire if I'm heading for soup, and most for me to follow along. I need this. Following their lead, I soon find myself in a rather sizable congregation of gnolls bound for the Lord's cave mouth just outside of town. A wave of tantalizing soup smell passes through them, visible through their instinctive reactions as noses reflexively draw up into the wind to sample it. I don't realize how much I'm salivating until I notice the snickers of a few onlookers. How am I supposed to keep it all in with tusk this big? Getting closer, I see a few gnolls already headed back the opposite way towards the village, laden with hearty earthen pots full of soup. I'm not sure why it's being prepared in the cave. I've not long to consider that before an answer makes itself apparent. Inside the cave, dozens of walking pools bubble with water cast in a golden glow by the setting sun. As steam rises from them, I spot bits of fragrant vegetation and hunks of unidentifiable meat slowly softening in their embrace. A group of gnolls working to stir in new ingredients while directing us poor hungry souls to which pools are ready. At last I made it. I'm at soup. I can't wait any I can't wait even a second longer. Grab it from a nearby stack while soon to be a bowl for communal use and scooping some out much like the nose before me. I take a deep whiff. The steam tickles my brain as it softens my sinuses. It's too hot, but I'm hungry. But it's hot. Hunger defeats reason. A yell escapes me, drawing further snickers from the other nose as they see me, bested by soup that's too hot. I'm solidifying my clownish reputation here, but I don't care. I'll clown for soup. Swept up in a sweet embrace of soup, time slips away as I down bowl as a bowl of savory delight. Each pour offers new flavors and aromas. I can't help but overindulge a little, or maybe a lot. Before long, my sloshing soup gut strains under the weight of my gluttony. In the embrace of that blissful broth, I barely notice as the crowd around me migrates further into the cave, sweeping me up along with them. Beyond the initial culinary corridors, I'm greeted by a very different use case for natural hot springs. Both my bowl and loincloth are soon taken by helpful hands, and I'm left standing naked and afraid before dozens of bathing nose. No soup. I guess I should bathe and not just stand there with everyone staring at me and my junk. Look around, there aren't a lot of vacant pools. Taff appears to be bathing with some fragrant petals, but one glance assures me that I'm not welcome to join. Rath and Nika are occupied with one another. They must have arrived where I was lost to suit frenzy. Sticky invites me over with some very forward gesturing. And Opa is straight up unconscious. I should probably check on him. I splice down to join Opa, surprised both with how perfect the water temperature seems and with how elegantly Opa's saggy scrotum floats up to the pool surface. Mesmerizing. Opa, how you doing? I give a soft jostle to rouse him, then in turn with relief as he loudly snorts himself back awake. The drowsy old-timer stretches and yawns out a half-awake inquiry. Probably fresh meat. Oh, no. His outstretched paw comes to rest down behind me. I think you did. Sticky whistles. Okay, I think maybe you should take a break from the hot water. But I got so much left to scrub. You wouldn't mind helping, Plover? Fair's fair, isn't it? Who do you think kept you fed and scrubbed while you stuck the days away at my place? Oh, I guess it's fair then. I shouldn't be so prudish about. Okay, he has an erection. Opa. Look, miracle that still works at my age, kid. I can't be picky about when it works. Looking around, I notice many other gnolls casually helping one another whilst up, even in intimate regions, so this isn't too out of the ordinary, it seems. And the old man does have his charms. He seems to have figured out just how far he can push his luck. I can do this, it's not weird, just don't think about the hug. Messy hands, my boy. You're not helping. He taps at my back once more. Slide all the way in, boy. Gotta brawl them ticks off. Wait, ticks? Of course. They can tripe through the forest without a few dozen tag-alongs. I submerged with a string prejudice, quickly learning the limits of how long this body can hold its breath. While we resurfaced with a gasp for air, I noticed Stinky looking around, scanning the room diligently. I'll let you know if he turns up, boy. Enjoy yourself. Sticky grins, declaring it Snapdragon time, and rose from his pool to one of the larger, more occupied ones in back. This time, Snapdragon appears to involve him hiding underwater and subtly yanking people underneath. Ooh. Opa silences my question, a foot paw raised up to my snout for scrubbing. Right, despite the dutiful ministrations I've been tasked with, I end up feeling surprisingly relaxed with fresh here. Sure, it's loud, hot, and smelly, but it's comforting. I can see the gnolls chatting, playing, bonding. And here I am, finding comfort in the chaos. I'm at soup. By the time I'm done pampering the portly old codger, Stickies loudly declares himself Snapdragon champion and returns to fetch Opa. Heh, smoked them. They even have to vote them. Why, what exactly is that? Oh, you ain't got Vulcan in hell. Well, I give you a soul, but I'm tapped out. Good thing, too. Don't want a case of the crates while I'm in town. My lack of understanding could fill a book. But I'm sure you got plenty of stuff in hell that puts me to shame. Is it true you got chariots fueled by the burning blood of ancient dragons? Sure. I want to go there. He turns and catches Opa, threatening to doze off again. Alright, Opa. Let's find us a room before it gets dark. Oh, I hadn't considered that. Do you guys do inns or? Most of the places here are common houses. First come, first serve. Once the night can wake up and clear all of them. Those possessed of a lesser demon that leads them to faith in the night. They have difficulty with attentiveness and focus in the daytime, but many tribes value them for their keen alertness in the dark hours while others slumber. Nightkin and the Empire must struggle to suppress these tendencies lest they draw unwanted scrutiny. Many are forced to use narcotics to suffer through the daytime hours. Knew some folks working these sewers back in the city that was defo Nightkin. Tavern guests have their own place though. They prefer their privacy. Right, I spot Tav peeling himself away from a gaggle of young women that had begun braiding his hair so he can head for the exit. I disembarked to give chase, but pause first. Thanks, by the way. For earlier, I mean. I'm not good with kids. Kids are easy. You just gotta think on their level. I'm a natural. Right, well, I guess I'll see you guys tomorrow. Probably. I leave Opa in Sticky's capable hands and hurry to catch up with Tile. Put on a towel. Oh, right. So, tonight, you're saying where I can keep an eye on you. He holds up his wrist, tapping at least. And you better take good care to keep that body clean. You're just borrowing it. He hasn't given up, even after everything that's happened. Something about that makes my towel wag a little. I guess I can make myself cling to a bit of hope as well. You idiot. It's all your fault. As he run through the labyrinth mire of wires, the labyrinthine mire of sewers sprawling beneath the city, that's all you can think about. You fucked up. It's all your fault. You're in such high spirits, you finally squirmed and saved enough to make something nice for him. The other muckrackers, they always talked about their families too. The porcine orc that was too bristly to pass as a proper domesticated piggy, he sang the praises of every new lover he laid with. The mischief of rat folk that suffused the crew, They were always so proud of their seasonal litters. Even the Flair can brag about his tadpoles. But they have the right to be here. Documents and permissions and the blessings of the Emperor to scrounge through his cities refuse like bottom feeders. You lowered your guard. Let it slip. Let him slip. The supervisor, the slave driver, his ears perked up like that. He knew you were undocumented. That's why he paid you only a quarter salary after the others had already gone. He knew how much the white pair of hands were worth to the white employer. Small hands, tender hands, hands nobody would miss. He'd have known how young you really were. He'd have sold you for a pretty penny too already. But you're big for your age, strong for your age, made for laborers too bothersome for your betters, just what the city needs. This accursed city, a maze for rats, choking, suffocating, binding. It's so narrow, pressing in from all sides. Your lungs burn from exertion. The vile miasma of the sewer seals your sense of smell with every sharp inhalation. You can't get sick from it, they say. You're a perfect fit for the sewers, they say. Just walk around in the muck like the mindless savage they know you to be. Bound scraping plate of four and hope against hope they don't notice. But now they've noticed. You couldn't even do that right. The city undulates around you, the sun's cavorting and contorting to make you lose your way. He knows where you live. A quick tip to the whelp snatchers, a few coins in exchange, and just like that, Taff will be gone. Those vile dogs will find him. They'll drag him away to another orphanarium. They'll sell him to the hottest bidder. He's too good for that. He's so sweet, so smart, he already knows more letters than you do. You can't let him take him. You can't let him go. Home, the savvy little hovel the two of you had built together, the merest semblance of shelter in a city that floods with indifference. You clutch that silly little thing in your paws, that thing you spent months trying to cobble together. It was supposed to be a gift for his name day, a celebration. But now you have to go, somewhere, anywhere but here, someplace where they can't take him away from you. Then you smell them. Your heart sinks. You're not alone. You'll follow, you fucking fool. You turn, ready to fight, to defend him at any cost. But a titanic figure that towers before you snatches away any hope of victory. Its gargantuan bulk ascends into the void of night above without a face. His companion slithers beside you, faster than you can blade. It's over. I awaken with a gasp, heart pounding in my chest, sweat pouring from my body despite the breath chill of the errant night. Alright, so that's all I'm going to do for chapter 2 for now. We'll play some more of it next time. So we got to learn more about the Empire, and it's really like a typical Empire, you know, they quest dissent, and they try to force everyone into their culture, and they expand further. So apparently there's a crusade, and all the Gnoll tribes were crushed, and the remnants of those tribes came here to this village. So, this typical Empire, like, kind of way of brute force. And people here are kind of like an underclass. The Empire looks at them as lowly beings, including the Emperor himself. So, we also got to meet Nika, and I guess, well, she's married, I think, to the leader of the tribe, and sees kind of like in the medicine, and I think he kind of helps with disputes, I guess, with people from other tribes, because this village here is composed of the remnants of different tribes. So there's gonna be people with different tribes here with different cultures, and see kind of, I guess, deals with all that and try to keep the place unified. I'm not entirely sure. But anyway, we met the Matron, who was kind of like the leader of the tribe, and he fought against the Empire, and after a while he just got tired and he gave up fighting the Empire, because whenever he liberated people, they became targets of the Empire, and it was just a never-ending battle. So he just gave up and just got tired. It's no matter how hard they fought against the Empire, they never made any real progress. So it looks like he decided to give Plover a chance, just as, while what's his name? I forgot his name. But the little hyena that we first met with the glasses, he very much does not want Plover to stay in the tribe. He wants him gone. But the Matron has decided to give Plover a chance by staying in the tribe and working for the tribe and helping people out, to earn the people's trust. And he even tried to take off the collar that kept Plover at bay, because he's a demon, or they think he's a demon anyway. However, he wasn't able to, and Nika told him that he couldn't take it off, and that if the neck collar was taken off, his head will explode. So now, so we also got to see Plover get some soup, and we got to see all the other people take a bath, like also, and yeah. So we got to see all different types of characters, all different shapes and sizes. And towards the end there, I think that person that we were experiencing, I forgot his name again. There's a plenty of characters, I keep forgetting their names, but it's a person that Plover is in. The body, the body of that Plover is in, his name, I think that was him towards the end, whenever he was in the Empire, the city in the Empire, and he was being used for hard labor, physical labor, because of his size and strength. So yeah, so I'm gonna have to go back and reread it, because there's quite a lot of information we learned so far. So hope you're all enjoying this so far. That's all I have for now, so thank you all very much for watching. Goodbye.